chaos at HYBE's new boy band debut. Fans ignore Santos Bravos to sing Jungkook's 7 instead. The night was meant to mark the beginning of a new era for HYBE. Mexico City's Auditorio Nacional was overflowing with anticipation as thousands of fans gathered to witness the debut of Santos Bravos, the first boy band launched by HYBE Latin America. The stage lights shimmered in shades of gold and blue, smoke machines filled the air, and the voices of the crowd built to a fever pitch. Everything was perfectly orchestrated, a symbol of HYBE's global ambition after years of building a worldwide empire on the foundation laid by BTS. But what happened next was something no one at HYBE could have scripted. As the opening notes of the group's debut single faded, the audience was expected to chant the rookie's name in celebration. Instead, the sound that erupted was shockingly familiar, a tidal wave of voices singing Jungkook's 7. Thousands of fans, from the front row to the highest balcony, joined in perfect unison, echoing the lyrics of a song that had defined global pop 2 years prior. The members of Santos Bravos froze mid-smile, their eyes wide in disbelief. They had rehearsed every move for months, every breath of their choreography timed to perfection, but nothing had prepared them for this. The spotlight, meant for them, had just been stolen by a man who wasn't even there. Within minutes, fan-recorded clips of the surreal moment flooded the internet. One particular video, shaky, zoomed in, yet somehow electric, captured the entire venue singing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with passion so raw that it sent chills through anyone watching. The video hit millions of views within hours. The hashtag 7 at the debut trended across X, TikTok, and Instagram, turning HYBE's newest project into an unintentional global tribute to Jungkook, BTS's golden magne. For HYBE, the moment was both magical and troubling. It was proof that Jungkook's influence remained untouchable, but it also exposed a reality the company had long tried to navigate quietly, that even in BTS's absence, no one could truly replace them. The debut of Santos Bravos was supposed to be HYBE's boldest step toward the future. The group, formed through an intense Latin American reality show, had spent years training under the guidance of Korean and Latin producers. Their first EP, Who We Are, had sold an impressive 369,850 copies in its first week, a figure strong enough to position them as global contenders. They were young, diverse, full of potential. Yet the night that should have cemented their place in K-pop history turned into an unforgettable reminder of who still ruled IT. AS fans continued to sing 7 with emotional devotion. The production crew backstage exchanged nervous glances. One staff member later revealed anonymously that while some executives were panicking, others couldn't help but smile. "We knew it right then," they said quietly. This wasn't a sabotage. It was love. The kind of love that doesn't fade, no matter how many new groups debut. Online reactions were split. Some fans found the incident hilarious and touching, calling it a spiritual BTS encore. Others criticized it as disrespectful to the new group, who had worked tirelessly for their first stage. But even those who disapproved couldn't deny what the moment symbolized. Jungkook's music had transcended boundaries of language, of culture, and even of corporate strategy. The man was serving his country in silence, yet his voice still commanded arenas oceans away. What made the event even more ironic was its timing. Just days earlier, Jungkook had been ranked number 4 in the top 100 most handsome faces of K-pop 2025, a reminder of BTS's unrelenting global presence even during their military service hiatus. By contrast, Santos Bravos were the symbol of HYBE's future, a project meant to prove the label could continue its empire beyond BTS. But on that stage in Mexico, that narrative shattered. The audience wasn't ready to move on. For them, BTS wasn't just a memory, it was still the heartbeat of K-pop itself. Behind the scenes, HYBE's response was swift and strategic. Sources claimed the company instructed editors to remove clips of the 7 moment from the official broadcast, citing copyright and performance rights. But the damage, or perhaps the magic, was already done. Fan cams had gone viral in every major K-pop market, from Seoul to Sao Paulo. It wasn't just a concert anymore. It was a cultural event, a spontaneous, emotional eruption that no amount of PR could contain. Then, quietly, Jungkook's name appeared online. Not through a statement, not through a press release, but through a single action. The singer liked one of the viral videos showing the crowd singing his song. That small, silent heart on Instagram was enough to send armies into complete chaos. He saw it. Fans screamed online. He knows. The post's comment section filled with emotional messages, half laughter, half tears. It was as if Jungkook himself had briefly stepped back into the world, acknowledging the love that still refused to fade. For HYBE, the moment was bittersweet. Their new artists had been overshadowed, but they were also introduced to the world in a way no marketing campaign could have achieved. Streams of Santos Bravos' debut track surged by over 300% in the following days, thanks to curious armies checking out the group behind the now famous concert. The boys, to their credit, handled the situation with grace. In a heartfelt Weverse post, they wrote, "We're honored that fans remembered Jungkook during our debut. He inspires us. We hope one day our music can touch hearts like his." The message melted many of the tensions, and for a moment, even armies agreed. Maybe this wasn't competition after all. Maybe it was connection. Still, the deeper issue lingered. HYBE's rapid expansion since BTS's hiatus had been both impressive and controversial. The company had launched multiple sublabels in Japan, the US, and now Latin America, in its quest to dominate the global music scene. But no matter how strong the strategy, it faced an impossible comparison. BTS weren't just idols, they were cultural icons, woven into the emotional DNA of an entire generation. How do you move forward when your past still defines the present? Korean media analysts were quick to weigh in. Seo Min-hyuk, a leading entertainment journalist, told the Korea Times that what happened in Mexico wasn't an accident. It was a message. This was not disrespect. This was devotion, he explained. HYBE created a cultural phenomenon so powerful that it cannot be replaced by design. Every time a new group debuts, they are inevitably compared to BTS. And that's not the rookie's fault, it's the price of history. The emotional aftermath of the concert continued to ripple through social media for days. TikTok compilations showed fans crying, laughing, and holding up signs that read, "We miss you BTS," alongside Santos Bravos fighting. The duality was clear. Fans were willing to support new talent, but their hearts still belonged to 7 men who once stood on similar stages, singing about dreams and beginnings. The scene in Mexico was more than chaos. It was a mirror of global emotion, proof that BTS's story hadn't ended, merely paused. Meanwhile, the 7 members of BTS, all having completed their military service by June 2025, remained silent as speculation about their reunion intensified. The Santos Bravos concert only fueled that fire. Commentators began asking whether HYBE's attempt to create new stars was really a prelude to BTS's grand return, a reminder to the world of who truly holds the crown. The question loomed over every discussion. Was this chaos, or was it destiny? Chaos at HYBE's new boy band debut. Fans ignore Santos Bravos to sing Jungkook's 7 instead. The night was meant to mark the beginning of a new era for HYBE. Mexico City's Auditorio Nacional was overflowing with anticipation as thousands of fans gathered to witness the debut of Santos Bravos, the first boy band launched by HYBE Latin America. The stage lights shimmered in shades of gold and blue, smoke machines filled the air, and the voices of the crowd built to a fever pitch. Everything was perfectly orchestrated, a symbol of HYBE's global ambition after years of building a worldwide empire on the foundation laid by BTS. But what happened next was something no one at HYBE could have scripted. As the opening notes of the group's debut single faded, the audience was expected to chant the rookie's name in celebration. Instead, the sound that erupted was shockingly familiar, a tidal wave of voices singing Jungkook's 7. Thousands of fans, from the front row to the highest balcony, joined in perfect unison, echoing the lyrics of a song that had defined global pop 2 years prior. The members of Santos Bravos froze mid-smile, their eyes wide in disbelief. They had rehearsed every move for months, every breath of their choreography timed to perfection, but nothing had prepared them for this. The spotlight, meant for them, had just been stolen by a man who wasn't even there. Within minutes, fan-recorded clips of the surreal moment flooded the internet. One particular video, shaky, zoomed in, yet somehow electric, captured the entire venue singing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with passion so raw that it sent chills through anyone watching. The video hit millions of views within hours. The hashtag 7 at the debut trended across X, TikTok, and Instagram, turning HYBE's newest project into an unintentional global tribute to Jungkook, BTS's golden magne. For HYBE, the moment was both magical and troubling. It was proof that Jungkook's influence remained untouchable, but it also exposed a reality the company had long tried to navigate quietly, that even in BTS's absence, no one could truly replace them. The debut of Santos Bravos was supposed to be HYBE's boldest step toward the future. The group, formed through an intense Latin American reality show, had spent years training under the guidance of Korean and Latin producers. Their first EP, Who We Are, had sold an impressive 369,850 copies in its first week, a figure strong enough to position them as global contenders. They were young, diverse, full of potential. Yet the night that should have cemented their place in K-pop history turned into an unforgettable reminder of who still ruled IT. AS fans continued to sing 7 with emotional devotion. The production crew backstage exchanged nervous glances. One staff member later revealed anonymously that while some executives were panicking, others couldn't help but smile. "We knew it right then," they said quietly. This wasn't a sabotage. It was love. The kind of love that doesn't fade, no matter how many new groups debut. Online reactions were split. Some fans found the incident hilarious and touching, calling it a spiritual BTS encore. Others criticized it as disrespectful to the new group, who had worked tirelessly for their first stage. But even those who disapproved couldn't deny what the moment symbolized. Jungkook's music had transcended boundaries of language, of culture, and even of corporate strategy. The man was serving his country in silence, yet his voice still commanded arenas oceans away. What made the event even more ironic was its timing. Just days earlier, Jungkook had been ranked number 4 in the top 100 most handsome faces of K-pop 2025, a reminder of BTS's unrelenting global presence even during their military service hiatus. By contrast, Santos Bravos were the symbol of HYBE's future, a project meant to prove the label could continue its empire beyond BTS. But on that stage in Mexico, that narrative shattered. The audience wasn't ready to move on. For them, BTS wasn't just a memory, it was still the heartbeat of K-pop itself. Behind the scenes, HYBE's response was swift and strategic. Sources claimed the company instructed editors to remove clips of the 7 moment from the official broadcast, citing copyright and performance rights. But the damage, or perhaps the magic, was already done. Fan cams had gone viral in every major K-pop market, from Seoul to Sao Paulo. It wasn't just a concert anymore. It was a cultural event, a spontaneous, emotional eruption that no amount of PR could contain. Then, quietly, Jungkook's name appeared online. Not through a statement, not through a press release, but through a single action. The singer liked one of the viral videos showing the crowd singing his song. That small, silent heart on Instagram was enough to send armies into complete chaos. He saw it. Fans screamed online. He knows. The post's comment section filled with emotional messages, half laughter, half tears. It was as if Jungkook himself had briefly stepped back into the world, acknowledging the love that still refused to fade. For HYBE, the moment was bittersweet. Their new artists had been overshadowed, but they were also introduced to the world in a way no marketing campaign could have achieved. Streams of Santos Bravos' debut tracks surged by over 300% in the following days, thanks to curious armies checking out the group behind the now famous concert. The boys, to their credit, handled the situation with grace. In a heartfelt Weverse post, they wrote, "We're honored that fans remembered Jungkook during our debut. He inspires us. We hope one day our music can touch hearts like his.